Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video today. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me today for another GLP-1 discussions video. If you are new here, we do these videos about once a week, and I just dive deeper into emotional, mental things surrounding GLP-1 use that aren't necessarily specifically related to weight loss. So I really like to kind of tap into the mental, emotional side of things, and that is what we do here on that series. So if you're interested in that, would love to have you subscribe and stick around. So today I have a good one for you because I was actually at my daughter's doctor's appointment, her 5-year checkup, a couple of weeks ago, and me and her doctor, who was also my doctor that you guys have heard me mention 100 times on this channel, we're just having this discussion surrounding GLP-1s, mainly in the context of what's going on right now with Big Pharma and compounding and the FDA and all of that. And it came sort of full circle to what is holding people back from starting a GLP-1 or from being successful on a GLP-1. And it all came full circle to like this one big misconception that both of us, like I said, just had this sort of aha moment, and it was all surrounding diet culture. And I want to talk about that today. I want to dive into it, and I want to get your thoughts, of course, as well. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Before we do, I do just want to issue a quick apology to the community. I don't know, it's not really an apology. I don't think I did anything wrong, but I did get a little feisty yesterday, and Brittany doesn't usually get feisty. So, when I get feisty, it's usually too feisty. So I just wanted to say all is well in the world. I'm not fighting with anybody, room for everybody at the table. It's really fine. I had a bad day yesterday and got feisty, so I'll leave it at that. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So, diet culture. We know what diet culture is, right? Like, we've been around, most of us, I would say, are in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and we've been around a long time, and we've all tried to lose weight, and we've all been unsuccessful at some point, which is what led us to GLP-1s or weight loss surgery, because there's so many of you that have done that as well. So we know what diet culture is, right? It's that constant need and pressure to be on a diet, to eat less food, to be thinner, to starve ourselves to fit into what society has told us that we should look like. And then within that, you have the context of how to diet successfully, right? So you have to fast, you have to eat high protein, low carb, you have to follow Weight Watchers, you have to do this. And if you're not doing it, you have to lift weights, you have to exercise till you can't walk anymore. And if you're not doing it that way, then for years and years, decades and decades, we've been told that we're lazy or that we're not being successful because we're not trying hard enough or we're not trying the right way. And so what has come from that is this obsession from all of us people who have struggled with our weight of doing the right thing or trying to put it in this box, trying to fit it all into this box of diet culture and how it's going to work for us. And so within the GLP-1 community, I see a lot of people that are like following the same stuff that they always have their whole life, or still perpetuating this need to follow diet culture. And then they're wondering why they're failing, or why it's not being successful to them, or why they're still having the food obsession, or why they're stopping or whatever, because they have not made that mental shift yet. When I first started my journey, a lot of you guys know because you've been around, I really did get into the whole diet culture thing. So what I basically did was I started taking Mounjaro, and I used it as a way to allow me to do all of the dieting things that I didn't think that I could do previously. So essentially, all Mounjaro was for me in the beginning, and what it is for a lot of people now, was just this addition to make dieting and exercise and all of the things society has told us forever easier. And it worked. I lost a lot of weight, you guys know. However, as time went on, there was a mental shift. There was a time period when I started to realize that none of that was necessary in the way that we thought or have always thought that it was necessary, right? So it's not necessary for us to constantly obsess and think about food. The people that are doing that, statistically in life, the people that are working out all the time, that are keto, high fiber, whatever diets, most of those people have at some other time in life struggled with obesity. They are us in a different form at a different stage in their journey, right? If you look at people who are thin, or not even just thin, but are healthy and have never struggled with weight issues, I've said this a million times, but those people don't think about food and don't think about dieting. Dieting is not even a word to them, right? The people that have been forced into diet culture obsess over it. And so when we look at people like, I'm just going to throw out some examples here, like Jillian Michaels. Okay. We all know Jillian Michaels. She was significantly overweight for a large portion of her life. She has the same disease that we have. She is just handling it in a very obsessive, very controlled way. What GLP-1s have given us the ability to do is to not obsess and control in the way that we've always been told we have to be successful. Okay, I just came full circle there. Took me a minute to get my thoughts together. So we're sitting there in the doctor's office and we're talking about this, and both of us were just kind of like, it's not the GLP-1 itself that is keeping people from doing it. It's the connotation in the media that GLP-1s are just another diet culture thing. Because that differential has not been made yet enough in the media for people to, in their minds, separate diet culture and GLP-1s. Diet culture is sort of this category of, again, the excessive exercising, the super low calorie intake, the food restrictions, all of that, media telling us we need to be thinner, all the things that we've been told our whole life. GLP-1 is the answer, and I want to say fix, but maybe fix isn't the absolute word because it doesn't completely fix you, right? Like you still have to make good choices, but it is the answer to all of the lies that we've been told our whole life. There is not one naturally thin, healthy person that obsesses over food, thinks about food constantly, works out until they can't walk anymore. Think about everybody in your life that is naturally healthy. Do any of them do that? Yeah, they make healthy choices and they go work out, they go for walks. They're just naturally healthy. But are they hardcore keto? Are they following every Weight Watchers point that they put in their mouth? Are they doing any of that? No, they're not. So what we need to have this shift of is that GLP-1s are not diet culture. We need to separate them. And I know that's really hard to do. Again, I see it in groups every single day. People saying, what should I be eating? How much should I be exercising? Tell me exactly what I need to do. Because for our whole lives, we've always been told that we need to follow these exact steps to get health and wellness. And what we're realizing with GLP-1 use, as everybody reacts to them differently, and as people, go down their journeys, and some works for some and some doesn't work, and as people develop within their journey, what we're realizing is there was no list that we were supposed to be following. There was no one list that was going to work for everybody. And so that is why it never worked before. So the mental shift has to be made within the media, and I think that it is our responsibility to share this, but the mental shift in the media has to be separating the two things entirely. That dieting, in the sense of dieting, is what it has always been. GLP-1 therapy is a completely separate entity that is going to drive you towards wellness, totally bypassing all of that diet culture stuff. When I had that click in my brain, I was like, I got to talk about this. I got to share this, because for months and months, I've been sitting here reading comments on my Facebook group, on the Orderly Facebook group, on Reddit threads of people still constantly obsessing. And I've tried to comment back and say, you just don't need to worry about this so much. It just, but it's hard. And I think that the shift is not going to come in America specifically until what gets put out into the media is in that positive manner. Because right now we see Ozempic face and Ozempic butt and all those celebrities losing weight on Ozempic, and it's perpetuated as this sort of like early 2000s super skinny diet culture thing. I actually saw a video it's probably been close to a year ago now. He is a guy who does a lot of like celebrity podcasting stuff. But anyway, he did a whole video on Ozempic and how in his mind, I understood a lot what he was saying, even though it wasn't necessarily things that I wanted to be put out there. But what he was saying essentially is that Ozempic craze, the Ozempic movement, has turned a lot into like early 2000s Nicole Richie, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, super skinny skin and bones era, and how it has started to influence in the same way that it did back then. And I see that. I see it being lumped into this big diet culture thing where it's just another fad. And I blame the media for that. I blame the way that they're sharing it. I blame the way that they've attacked celebrities within this culture and, shamed them for using Ozempic, because people hear things and they believe it. And that's what's really hard. That's what's the whole problem with diet culture. People have been told or hearing, online, you'll Google, how do I lose weight? Or what's the easiest way to lose weight? Or how do I lose 20 pounds by my vacation? And all of these like grapefruit diets and exact list of things come up and tell you what you need to do to be thinner. And so people believe those and have believed those things for decades and decades. So when we come on the media and we come on YouTube and we come on Fox News and we come on The View and we start talking about how everybody lost weight because of Ozempic and it's the new skinny craze in Hollywood, all that does is damage the people that really need to hear about Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound and Mounjaro and all of them, and starts to distort views and starts to distort the way that we're looking at GLP-1 therapy. So my wish, like if I could start some type of petition, it would be to somehow figure out a way to separate in the mind dieting and GLP-1 therapy, and sort of trying to put it more in this category of wellness therapy or hormone replacement therapy, or overall wellness, instead of this is a quick thing you can do, a shot that you can take once a week and it's going to make you drop a bunch of weight. Who remembers, oh gosh, probably 20 years ago now, there was this fad with the HCG shots. Do you all remember that? And people would put them in their stomach. It was very similar to GLP-1s, but you were injecting the growth hormone, and for some reason it would help people to lose weight. And there was a girl who I worked with at the time. I worked at Food Lion, and she was on these HCG shots, and I remember the craze surrounding her in the store, because again, when I was in college, and everybody in that store was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I don't want to say her real name, so I'll make up Mary. Mary is, what's really funny is I think that's actually her real name. Her real, not the name she went by, but like her real name. Anyways, Mary is on these shots and she's losing all of this weight. And oh my gosh, like I want to go get on these shots. And everybody's asking Mary how she lost the weight and how much the shots cost and what doctor she went to get the shots. And it became this obsession within the store. And that's how I relate. Like when I think about people talking about GLP-1s, that's how I relate to it now. Like I think back to that situation in my life. I have said in my Facebook group recently that I've been sharing more about my GLP-1 journey on my personal Facebook because I haven't in 2 years, right? And I have decided that if I'm somebody that's getting on the internet and trying to influence other people to speak positively about GLP-1s, then I can't hide from them. And so I've made a few posts on my Facebook just about GLP-1s and how they've changed my life and some before and afters and, basically just the sort of thing that I share here, but in the Facebook space. And I have gotten 2 very distinct reactions. One, people telling me I'm going to gain all the weight back and that I cheated and that I shouldn't be promoting this. And 2, people messaging me privately because they're afraid to message publicly or comment publicly, asking me where they can get it. So it's either if you don't agree with what they say, then people are scared. Then it's like they're scared to say anything. And so they message me privately so that they think that other people in their life won't know that they are doing it, which is totally fine. You can be private about it if you want to be private about it. It's your life and that's the whole point. But all of this goes back to show that the misconception is that we are doing something taboo, that we are doing something that is not the right way to do it. And that's just not true. And so what we need to start sharing is what it really does, what GLP-1s really do, because the media is not doing that. The media is talking about celebrities losing 40 pounds on Ozempic, or Eli Lilly fighting all of the compounding pharmacies and compounding tirzepatide is so dangerous and all of these things. But we're not seeing a lot of positivity in the GLP-1 circle right now in terms of what it is actually doing for people. The only thing I see in the media is crap about insurance not covering it and compounds being unsafe and Eli Lilly going after and suing another person, or so-and-so lost 100 pounds on Ozempic and they're just taking the skinny fat shot. How is any of that going to change what people see and think about GLP-1s if there are not those of us that are positive? Even within the GLP-1 community of influencers and content creators, it is getting negative. It just is. You all know it. It's getting negative. There's very few of them now that are not pitted against each other, constantly, trying to prove that they're better or their telehealth is better or their insurance is better or the drug they're using, the GLP-1 they've chosen is working better. Very few solid community right now. And a year ago, it was very different. And it's just the climate has changed to pit us all against each other. And I really want the community back that it was a year ago. And that's what I strive to do here. And that's why I try to delve into these emotional discussions so that we can really talk about what's going on here in the root of everything, and not just all of the pressure that we have from all of the outside sources that tell us we're doing something wrong, or we're wasting our money, or we're going to hurt ourselves, or whatever it may be that we're seeing in the media on that day. So if you enjoy a safe space to come and chat and be a community, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook. It's a free community over there. It's always linked in my description, and we can have some good, solid community fun. As long as I don't get feisty again. So let me know what you think about this down below. Let me see if you've seen this culture. I want to know. I want to have the discussion if I am totally off base here, or if you are seeing this in your real life as well. Because again, I can't talk to many people in real life about it because of the misconceptions and the lies that have been spread. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.